Okay, I think my inspiration for becoming an artist came from family and friends. Friends, you might say, guardian angels, people who pointed out I had a special talent for drawing and painting. I just start scribbling. I scribble away. I pretty much start with my composition. But with this, drawing the museum, I'm pretty much just going to scribble some lines and lay out what I want. I just try and relax and make not a real detailed drawing at first. This is kind of a larger view of just a sketch of the started of the museum. But now I can see what I want to do is I want to make it smaller, of course. And it's going to go right in there like that, see? And now I'll go back, I'll go up the street and I'll start putting in the buildings. So that's just kind of how it starts. That's kind of the idea of scribbles. I just scribble away. I don't try and make it very exact. Don't spend too much time on it. The whimsical look comes out just scribbling and making mistakes and having fun with it. I do like overlays. I'll overlay them and make like a collage, and since this is going to be hopefully a grand view of Wisconsin Avenue, I have to overlay it onto a larger sheet of paper, and I pretty much will start from block by block. And some buildings I leave out and some I put in, and sometimes I add things from some other faraway spot, and they all come out and I end up with a street scene. Here's one of New York that I done a long time ago. But that's basically how I did that. And I like doing the street scenes and the life on the street. And anyway, now I'll move on up to the start of the beginning of the block up here with these buildings and sketch them in. And that'll be the front part of my composition. I think early in my childhood, when I was about 11 years old, I won a Golden Key Award from Hallmark. I won a first place watercolor painting in the state of California. And that was a very big award for someone 11 years of age. But I pretty much just look at everything at first. Okay, see, as I'm walking along here, I'm looking at the buildings. I'm kind of composing my picture here and seeing what I'm going to put in and what I'm going to leave out. I don't know what it is exactly what at first what I'm doing. I'm just kind of sketching, and you dream about it a little bit and it comes together. As I walk along, I just kind of throw them in, according to the perspective of what I want. And of course they're going to be smaller because we're down here in the front. And now we're moving to the foreground, so the buildings are going to get bigger. Now that's a pretty big building with all those columns. I don't know what that building is, but I simplify it. I'll throw in the columns and I'll just basically get the shape. So the little picture's coming together slowly here. Now I move along up the street. I always would draw and paint at nighttime. Yeah. When I come home from school, and plus also at school. My art teacher always had me in the corner doing oil paintings and working away. I think the change from just as a hobby to a profession, when it really kind of strikes me that I could maybe make a living or do this and get some kind of a reward for it, was selling pictures to my teachers in high school. I had sold a painting to my English teacher when I was in the 10th grade and my wrestling coach, and I could see that I could actually sell the paintings that I was drawing, and
doing at nighttime when I come home from school.
I like doing a whimsical style, so I look for whatever shapes or colors or whatever it is. You just don't know, but you just see it. You end up seeing it. Lots of times I find these good easels to set my pad on to draw. So usually maybe a trash can or a fire hydrant or something. And here I found a good spot. I've done harder subjects, believe me. Trying to paint and draw Las Vegas was a very difficult one. Then I did Waikiki Beach, was pretty difficult. I had to find a view looking down, so I went in and out of all the hotels until I found the right hotel where I could get a bird's eye view of the street. And I think it was the Sheraton that I found where I could look down on everything. And probably on this street, there's plenty of them, but now I've learned to do them just I do them in an imaginative way. So I don't go up to the top of some building and draw it. Now this is kind of a composition in itself for this one page, but I probably will add more on and the picture will become bigger. Okay, now you can see. All right, I got these buildings in the foreground. Now there's lots kind of missing there. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll pick out which buildings I want in the foreground there. And of course I like to have the trolley coming down. So I'll probably put the trolley coming down and taxis and cabs. The good thing about this pen being all worn down, it's not real sharp and it won't make me start doing a lot of detail, which is important. So you just want to work on your composition of the picture, get an idea of what you're going to draw and paint, and just go to it.
You get inspiration from the landscapes. My travels to Big Sur really inspired me to want to capture the beauty of the place. And in other places I had traveled to, the Southwest, and of course to Europe, and traveling around Europe and the cities, Paris and London, it all gives you a great deal of inspiration to want to portray and paint those places.
But the difference is I don't just set my easel up and I don't just paint one view that I see. Pretty much I'm painting or drawing what I know, and I gather everything from here and there and I make the picture. I've drawn and painted so many scenes. I'll take note of the colors of the buildings. You know, I make sure that it's correct, but I use a lot of memory on it. And of course, with artists, the color is very personal. So I choose I pick out what build. It's not just the buildings or the shape. So I'll pick out the color that I want. It's the shapes, the colors, that's what brings out creativity. That's what's within you. That's what's in your subconscious. It's not words. It's not necessarily ideas, or it's your subconscious working. And your subconscious works on a knowledge of a different sort. It works on imagination. My subconscious will put the picture together. There's been times where I've started a picture, and at nighttime I've gone to bed, gone to sleep, and that night I had a dream and I painted the whole picture. And the next morning I would get up and I would know exactly how to paint the picture because I had just painted it the night before.
Making it as an artist and starting out as an artist and selling my work and continuing on painting, being able to pay the bills, probably began when I had returned back from Vietnam and I joined the Santa Barbara Beach Arts and Crafts Show. It was called Sabado y Domingo Art Show. And I got a spot on the boardwalk and started selling my paintings there. And I did continue it on to do that for about 20 years. But that gave me an opportunity to sell my paintings. And that's a great opportunity for artists, for cities to have outdoor art shows or indoor art shows for artists so that they can sell and make a living.
You can see it's all scribbled and now I'm simplifying it. And that's pretty much what I do, is I then take each building, how I want it, maybe, like this. And I don't care if it's right, correct, or what. I just know that's what I want there. And I know I want the trolley car here. And I know I want this truck here. And I know I want the museum there. So as you see, it starts simplifying it. And then I'll take another piece of paper and I overlay it. And then I might do a finished drawing when it's not so windy. So then I'll go in and I'll do really the detail of all the buildings and everything. And that will be my drawing. And then I will paint that drawing. I'll usually do it for watercolor it. And if it's something I want to do bigger, I'll then blow it up bigger and do it bigger. And I may paint it at home. I may come back down and look at the colors and make notes and paint it at home. Or I may come down with my easel and set it up and do each building really nice. Yeah, second day. First day I walk up and down and check out all the buildings on the street and see if I, what I'm going to draw. And now I know I got something. I get excited about it, and we'll see what we do here now. There we have the new museum. I kind of look at it and see how I want my design to be. Whether I like it with the wings. It's like a sail, huh? It's like a big sailing ship. Yeah, I've kind of thought about it. That's why I also made it more longer, if you notice. But I'm still pretty much keeping to just this block, just this front part in front of the museum and on up to the courthouse. Sometimes I'll do them longer, I'll do the whole boulevard. But this is a picture in itself. But I may take this and I may enlarge it and do more of a complete picture of the whole Wisconsin Avenue. I don't know. I'll dream about it more. Okay. I'm gonna go draw the trolley car now. You wanna go draw the trolley? Okay, there's a trolley passing by. You gotta draw real quick. Use your memory if you're gonna draw the moving cars and trucks.
My artwork has really given me an adventure abroad, painting and traveling to many different places. I was lucky to have an art patron during a short time, and he paid my expenses to go to Europe, where I lived and traveled from London and Paris and throughout Greece and Italy, and lived there for a while in Europe and did a lot of drawing and painting. And other times I had traveled to Canada and traveled to the beautiful scenic provincial parks up there and painted, and the Southwest, and trips to Mexico and Central America, and all the time painting and coming back to the States and selling my work. And many times when I lived in Santa Barbara, it was very difficult. I would paint every week during the week. And Sunday was the art show, and I would go to the art show, and then all of a sudden it would rain. And there were times when I had no place to live, and I would actually live on fishing boats and trade the fishermen for fish or to stay on their boat, to sleep. And there were many times when you just can't pay the bills, and it's not a real lucrative life, but it's probably as close to heaven as you get.
And now I see it's starting to rain. But that won't stop me. For me, my artwork is a whimsical style, and I like color, so I will have a tendency to make, things more colorful, and that's all right. We have to go farther up. We got some walking to do. So you can see all those windows there I draw, or I'm looking at. I'm not going to draw them actually. I just make a little hint of them. Put the windows in. By the time I'm done with this drawing, I'll know all these buildings. I know their names, what they are. I could really become a good tour guide when I'm done with this. When you're drawing, you just want to simplify everything into shapes. Spheres, boxes, and cylinders. Now here come some more people with umbrellas. So we're gonna put them in some more. So they're coming down the street with their umbrellas. Now we're starting to look up the street. So now we have to go back down the street again and catch some more of these other buildings.
No, it was probably in Santa Barbara. I continued to live there, and I continue to sell my work every Sunday on the beach, but I would spend the days at the harbor painting. In the backcountry, I hiked a lot, and I liked to do landscapes, and went up to Big Sur on the weekends and painted. And from doing the art show, I tried many other adventures. I opened an art gallery at the harbor, and I tried that adventure, and I did many private shows. I had different shows in galleries and public places where I would have an art exhibit and sell my work. And throughout the years, I've always done that, and I've always continued to do it. A very hard thing to be an artist and to continue to paint what you want to paint, and also make it pay the bills and make a living doing it. And it's not for everyone. It's a very difficult thing to do, and you really have to have a real drive to want to do that and live that kind of lifestyle, and you have to make a great many sacrifices to do that. There's got to really be something very strong in you to want to continue to do it, because along the way in your life you get a lot of roadblocks, you get a lot of you can't do this, and you have to have something that really drives you to do that. If you don't really have something to say with your artwork, I would really just suggest pack your bags and do something different.
And we found a good spot out of the rain in a bus stop. And so I don't have a lot to do on it, but I want to get these columns in there. They're really nice. They're fun to draw. Okay, now we're moving across to, I think, this building in front of us. Yeah. So I can just look at it and draw it. Okay, so our picture is now taking shape. You gotta be a little patient and let things come back or come around again. And this trolley does come around again. Okay, so there's the trolley. See, now that's a nice scene with the trolley car and the buildings, just those buildings. See, that's something that would catch my eye and I would draw it. Now, just to make sure we'll put some little X's there.
One thing, I was very lucky to do some work for the Pier 1 import stores, and did some travel posters for the Pier 1 that were marketed and distributed in about 500 different cities. And they had sent me to different cities: San Francisco, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and New York, and even over to Hawaii. And I did city street scenes, and they were made into posters, and they were sold all over. So that was fun and interesting to do, and I still continue to do that. I like to travel to different cities and do pictures, and then make them into prints and posters and gift items and sell them.
Okay, now we've gotten past that high building, and you can see there's a couple of buildings I passed by, but there's this empty space right here. Now we've got all these real large modern buildings, we've got some old Victorian, and what we want to do is maybe add some life, because it's a street scene, so we want some life to that. And I'm drawn to a lot of the cafes and restaurants, and that gives it the life part of the street. So over here we have Nola's on the lake. So I kind of been saving that space there. Now you can see the name, I don't know, Nola's. Now I want to come over this way. There's a park right here. So we'll put lots of trees. We're kind of going around a park. So we'll put lots of trees here. This is the lake area. I'll probably draw some boats and interesting things in it. And do the sky. Come back and do more on the street. There's our picture for the day.
I'd spent time at the harbor in Santa Barbara, and I would go to the harbor and paint, and I got to know many people down there. And I did meet Norman. He had a boat down there, and over the years he'd been a good friend. We had traveled around, and we'd gone to many places, and I had always been drawing and painting. And eventually Norman had decided that he wanted to move back to Wisconsin and make things happen better for him there. And he had asked me to come out to Milwaukee and to paint the area, that it was very pretty and really beautiful down at Lake Geneva, and even here in East Troy and Milwaukee. Got a lot of commission work and have made some good sales, and really have enjoyed my time being here. And after making our magnets, we delivered those to some of the gift shops in Lake Geneva. There's the shop Bouquet, Revolutions, Alan Rogers Gallery. We even were able to get a couple paintings at the Burger King.
It's just one guy with a camera. It's no big deal. Okay. Are you ready? Just give us 2 pictures. We'll hang them up.
You have a...
I need the hammer.
Where's that at?
I got the nails in my pocket.
Where's the hammer at? In the bag? Yeah. Okay, we got it. We're styling.
This one has a nick on it. I have to touch it up. A little crooked, isn't it?
Yeah. That light glares off of it too.
That's all right. We can. That'll change when the sun sets up. Okay. I think both of those are eye level. There you go. Okay, Burger King has some new wonderful pictures for the artist Daniel Randolph. For these folks to enjoy.
Get this Hawkeye cap.
The University of Iowa. Make sure you get the Hawkeye hat there. You look a lot like, you remind me of Cary Grant. Do I put Burger King?
How much I give for the spears? Is that $20 you said?
Oh yeah.
An hour?
A 2 at 27 is 54. God, my hands are cold. What is our phone number?
262
262
642 3914.
Okay, there you go. I really appreciate that.
I suppose now you want some money.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.
No, thank
Yeah.
you. That's nice.
Enjoy your pictures.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Take it easy.
Bye. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah.
Warmer tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Come now.
Come now.
Now, we also got a commission from Sweeney's Bookstores at Marquette University to make him a magnet, and he will be passing those out with the books purchased by all the students, and it shows the university.
Passing these out to the students. I think I books here. It's an original impression of the University of Marquette's campus, and very well received so far.
This is Ed Sweeney at 1634 Sweeney's College Bookshop.
We've had a very successful time with that image.
Pass those magnets out.
I think with future work here while being in Wisconsin, I'd like to finish up the work in Madison or even maybe do more pictures there. And otherwise, I'd like to maybe, while I'm close to Chicago, go to Chicago and do paintings there. I think I really like to wrap my life up in finding and working a little bit better on the marketing and sales and making my art a little more lucrative reward, and find a good gallery to represent me and make my dreams come true and paint all the pictures that I like to paint and that I dream of painting. Okay, I guess that's it. Well, Jay, call it a wrap.